Let's get this started. Let's get this topic started. Hopefully you guys could hear me. Looks to be okay right now. Alright. Let's get everybody to watch.
The following Tornado Tag Team Contest
Alright.
is an elimination tag team match.
Yeah, buddy.
Weight of the ring, from Minneapolis, Minnesota, weighing in at 286 pounds, Brock Lesnar.
You know, sometimes a superstar just has that look in his eye. And this is one of those times. The Raw crowd here tonight is definitely fired up for this one.
Alright. I just sent everybody the link. Yeah, so Brock Lesnar and Bray Wyatt, the Fiend Bray Wyatt. Will these guys be able to bring in the ratings while pertaining to, you know, everything that's transpired, you know, with Clash of Champions, when the Fiend, you know, attacked Seth Rollins, you know, with Seth and, you know, basically with Seth and Bray, what's been going on with them, and also with Brock Lesnar making his return to SmackDown, and basically F5ing Kofi Kingston, and basically, you know, with this whole Fox thing, you know, SmackDown going to Fox, that Brock Lesnar will be challenging Kofi Kingston for the championship on SmackDown, for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship on the next pay-per-view. Which, you know, got me thinking, you know, will Bray Wyatt and Brock Lesnar, if they become the new champions at the next pay-per-view, whatever the next pay-per-view is, will they be able to draw as champions? Now,
Here comes Bray Wyatt, the leader of
for
the
my personal taste,
Wyatt family. Would you say disturbing?
Bray Wyatt beating Seth Rollins for the championship, hey, I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it.
Looks like he hasn't missed many gym sessions.
Basically with the momentum that the Fiend has been getting ever since this whole, you know, Fire Fun Playhouse, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and everything else, with his debut at SummerSlam, like everything's have been going good for the Fiend so far, for Bray Wyatt. Oh boy, here we go with this motherfucker. Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me, man?
Representing the New Day from Ghana, West Africa.
No, like,
weighing in at 220
those females though in the Titantron. Those damn preacher women.
This guy will settle for nothing short of a victory here.
Now here's the thing.
Millions of people watching this
Kofi Kingston losing the belt, hey,
right now.
it is what it is. You know, Brock Lesnar becoming the champion. Bray Wyatt becoming the champion, beating Seth Rollins. Hey, hey, WWE, you know, let's do this. Let's have it happen. But that's my personal preference. That's my opinion. That's where I think they should go with this route. However, with Bray Wyatt and Brock Lesnar becoming the new champions, if they become new champions, will that change the ratings? Will that, you know, get people's interest back in WWE?
his tag team partner.
I know Seth Rollins is wearing a different belt. This is 2K16. This is going way back. Fuck 2K19. Fuck 2K20. Anyway.
Hold on a second and listen to this.
Yeah, but pertaining to,
This is unbelievable.
because, you know, people have been saying ever since WrestleMania
I know you feel the same way.
that Kofi Kingston and Seth Rollins have been the lowest drawing champions in history, supposedly, allegedly. Well, it is to be proven. supposedly, that these guys are the least drawing champions ever. Which you can make a pretty good case for that. There's no denying that. However, with Brock and Bray Wyatt becoming the new champions, is that going to change anything? Because let's be honest, many of these people that are bragging about Seth Rollins and Kofi Kingston not drawing as champions are the same motherfucking Attitude Era at this fucking point. You know, the Ruthless Aggression Era. And then they just bash everything, you know, bash everything with WWE and bash everything with AEW. You know, some people do with Impact Wrestling and so on and so forth. So, you know, it's easy for them to talk shit about Seth Rollins and Kofi Kingston because they're not fans of theirs. So, you know, so they can make their case. You know, it's easy for them. Oh yeah, you know, they not only do they suck, but they can't draw for shit. Well, let's keep it real though. With Brock Lesnar becoming, if he becomes the new champion, which I highly doubt they will have Kofi Kingston of all people beat Brock Lesnar. I mean, come on, man. Let's be for real. Well, is Brock Lesnar gonna bring new eyes to the product? You know, with SmackDown going on Fox. Because let's be for real. Brock Lesnar as Universal Champion, and I'm gonna piss a lot of Brock Lesnar fans off with this shit, but Brock Lesnar did not draw as Universal Champion. I'm sorry, he did not fucking draw as champion. Because if you look at the ratings, especially this year, you know, since everybody wants to bash Seth, when Brock Lesnar came back this year at Extreme Rules or whatever, or Money in the Bank, whichever pay-per-view it was Brock Lesnar, when he became champion, when he came back, you know, with the whole boombox thing and everything else that they did with Brock, did Brock Lesnar bring in new viewers? Did Brock Lesnar bring back the old school wrestling fans that used to watch wrestling? No, he did not. Did the ratings boost up just a little bit? Sure, it might have boosted up a little bit. But how much though? You know, because let's be honest. If you look at the ratings after the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, and when Brock Lesnar became champion, did the ratings really increase that much when he became champion? Not really. Maybe a little bit. Maybe by what, 3%? Oh wow, what a huge difference. So what makes me believe if Brock Lesnar beats Kofi Kingston for the championship, is that going to bring in new eyes to the product? Is that going to prove that Brock Lesnar is really a draw? You know, since everybody wants to be all over Brock Lesnar's, you know, mushroom tip. You know what I'm saying? Especially, yeah, how big he is and all that. But let's be for real though. If you're going to criticize Seth Rollins and Kofi Kingston, which you have the absolute right to, how about you criticize Brock Lesnar and what he failed to do as champion? Because Brock Lesnar did not bring in new audiences, did not bring in new fans to the fucking table. He did not. That's a fact. Brock Lesnar did not bring shit as champion. Stone Cold Steve Austin, he came back on Raw, 1.71. You know, these guys, you know, they claim they're this big draw, right? There's, you know, they can still draw even today, right? But how come when Brock Lesnar became the champion, no new viewers when he came back? Says he's this big draw. You know, how come it didn't change the ratings all that much? And not just Brock Lesnar, like any return for that matter. When Goldberg came back, when Undertaker comes back here and there, does it really make a difference? when they're there or not there. Man, I'm beating Seth Rollins' ass right now. But for real though, does that really change anything? So what makes me believe that Brock Lesnar, that it's going to be any different if Brock Lesnar becomes the champion on SmackDown? You know, if you want to judge these, if you want to judge, you know, the guys that you don't like, I mean, let's be honest. You know, get the fanboyism out of there, man. Damn, Bray Wyatt beat the fuck out of Kofi. Yeah, I'm sure people are jacking off right now watching this video, seeing these guys get their ass whooped. But and you know, with Bray Wyatt as champion, you know, let's see what they do. You know, let's see what they do if the Fiend becomes champion. You know, it's like, let's say like Brock Lesnar becomes the champion on SmackDown. Is that going to affect the entire show? Because what people are doing now is that they're basing the show off of, oh, this guy can't draw, and that's why the ratings are down. That partially has to do with it, but at the same point in time, every time you see a Raw, every time you see a SmackDown, it's just complete and utter garbage, man. They just can't put on good shows. They really can't. You know? They ain't gonna, most likely, if Bray Wyatt and Brock Lesnar becomes champion, they ain't gonna do shit. It's not gonna affect the ratings. Now, I could be wrong, and it might.
Wow, what a slam to the ground. Well, the trick sometimes when you get all these dangerous objects.
They don't let things happen, you know what I'm saying? You know, let's see these guys become champion. You know, like I said already, I'm all for the Fiend. I'm all for Brock. Not, you know, not just because I prefer them over Kofi and Seth. But let's see how they do with the ratings. Let's see how they do it, how well they do as champions. Let's see how much interest they get. Because once again, let's be for real. Does Brock Lesnar, you know, let's be critical. Let's be honest. You know, get the fanboyism out for just for 1 second. Get all your personal feelings and preference over other wrestlers that you like. Put that out the side. Put that on the side. Ever since Brock Lesnar has come back, besides from his first return back in 2012, all the way to now, like when he usually comes back here and there, is Brock Lesnar bringing in outside eyes to the product with him coming back? Is anybody talking on the news about, oh, Brock Lesnar has made his return to Raw, like they did with The Rock back in 2011? Does anybody in the outside eyes give a flying fuck about Brock Lesnar besides wrestling fans? Let's be honest. Does anybody outside of wrestling, outside of the wrestling fan base, aside from maybe the UFC fans who are fans of Brock Lesnar, who, by the way, the UFC fans were shitting on Brock Lesnar at the time. But let's be real, is he really bringing in new viewers? No, absolutely not. Maybe a couple more million, or well, not a couple 100,000, maybe. But what does that do though? What does that do though? The ratings are not changing all that much. The ratings are still the way, still around the same bracket. There's not much of a difference there with Brock Lesnar's there, or when The Undertaker's there, or not even with Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know, the guy, like the man, the greatest of all time, the GOAT, right? The GOAT, the greatest ever, right? He couldn't even do shit. Man, we squashed these guys. But yeah, come on, man. They ain't gonna do shit. Now I could be wrong, and they might actually bring in new viewers. We have to wait and see. But if I have to make a prediction, it's gonna be the same as always.
Let's see what happened during
You know,
that
I can give a
incredible
fuck if the
matchup.
fanboys might get upset. The reality is, not even Brock Lesnar could save this motherfucker. That's just keeping it real, man. That's just keeping it real. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Brock. We'll see what happens with Bray. You know, let's see if they come out on top first. They first need to win their matches first, and then we'll see what happens from there. But I think things are gonna. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna make a difference because WWE is not as popular as it once was. Yeah, I don't care how much Brock Lesnar draw back in the day. I don't care about Stone Cold Steve Austin. I don't care about all these legends that came back who were big draws back in the day. It's about today. It's about today. Do these guys draw today? With Brock Lesnar, if he beats Kofi Kingston for the championship, is that going to bring in new viewers to Fox? Is that going to bring in new viewers to SmackDown? We'll just wait and see. Will the Fiend, as champion, if he beats Seth Rollins, will that change the ratings? Will that bring in new eyes to the product? You know, all you guys, all you indie, bashing guys. You want to talk about these guys, not drawing as champions? Well, if these guys become champions, you best be willing to call this. You better call these guys out. Let's see how Brock does. Let's see how the Fiend does. Because let me tell you right now, before I go off air. If these guys do not do it, if Bray and Brock, if they don't get the ratings, if they don't increase the ratings, if they don't, bring in new eyes to the product, then I'll be one of the first ones to call this shit out. You guys want to, you want to talk about how you're objective. You want to stay consistent. Let's stay consistent. Let's see how your favorites. Do as champions. Let's see how much eyes they bring into the product. Let's see how many people start watching wrestling again, or more specifically WWE again. Let's see what happens. Let's see how I wish them well. Brock Lesnar becoming champion, Bray becoming champion. Hey, I'm all for it. As long as if these guys drop the ball, you guys better call that shit out. That's all I'm gonna say right now. You guys better call this shit out. You better call these motherfuckers out. If you're gonna call out the guys that you hate, you better call out the guys that you love. Because all this bashing of Seth Rollins and Kofi Kingston, with them as champions, well, hey, I get it. But all I'm gonna say is this: if these guys become champions, you better keep that same energy whenever these guys fail to bring in new eyes to the product. Not saying they're not, because anything can happen. I'm just saying, anything can happen. So let's see if Brock and the Fiend will be able to. And that's all I'm going to say from now. If they don't, like I said already, I'm going to call them out. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got to say about that. Thank you guys for tuning in. And well, before I go, somebody brought up Baron Corbin supposedly getting death threats back at Extreme Rules. Yeah, that was fucking stupid. That's pretty much wrestling fans taking it too far with that shit, man. I mean, I'm not a fan of Baron Corbin either, but come on, man. Come on. Baron Corbin is playing a character on TV. Just stop that shit. They're not gonna do it because they're hypocrites. Yeah, exactly. We're Ric Flair and they can still draw. Nope. Nope. Not even the great Stone Cold Steve Austin could do this motherfucker. So, yeah, so that's pretty much what we gotta say about that. That I gotta say about that. And once again, wish them luck. Let's see what they do. Peace.